Hey everyone, I'm Matt Dolan with Dolan Divorce Lawyers in Connecticut. And today what I'm going to talk about are the documents that you have to prepare in advance of a hearing or trial. So as usual, I'm going to share my screen here. And I'm going to call your attention to these are the management orders for trials, hearings, case. We're not going to talk about case dates or resolution plan dates, but what we're talking about are the management orders for trials and hearings. And these are constantly updated. They're tweaked a little bit, but the basics are always pretty much the same. And those are that counsel and self-represented parties are ordered to exchange with each other and file with the court in the manner set forth in Section D, the following documents not less than 5 calendar days before the assigned trial or hearing date. So the documents that need to be exchanged are financial affidavits, a list of any pending motions, including any motions that are to be decided before the start of the trial, a fully completed child support guidelines worksheet, written proposed orders that comply with the practice book, a list of the names of all witnesses each party reasonably expects to call as part of the party's case in chief, as well as any reasonably anticipated rebuttal witnesses, including an identifier, that is party, eyewitness, expert witness, etc. And that you also have to state any expected scheduling problems. This doesn't replace the requirement that you disclose expert witnesses in a time that's usually beyond 5 days. You have to disclose experts within a reasonable amount of time, which is a little blurry, but it's certainly more than 5 days. And then 6, you have to exchange a list of exhibits each party reasonably expects to introduce in evidence, including being indexed by a P plus a number for the plaintiff and D plus a letter for the defendant, with a brief description of each exhibit indicating whether any party objects to the admission of the exhibit. That's tough to do, and I can never quite figure out how you're supposed to indicate whether any party objects to the admission of the exhibit, because if you're giving this to the other side 5 days before, how are you going to know if they're objecting or not? So from a practical standpoint, that is really difficult to do. So I frankly don't do it. And then you're to exchange and file. If it's a remote hearing, you have to file on e-services the actual exhibits. But if it's not a remote hearing, you bring your exhibits to court. So those are the documents that have to be exchanged. And what you're going to want to do is prepare a pleading that you'll file with the court, and it's your compliance with the trial management order. So just looking at it, it's a pretty simple document. You just indicate, if you're the plaintiff or the defendant, it's your compliance with the trial management order or hearing management order if it's just a hearing. And you're just going to list, the first is financial affidavit. So you either attach it, and when I say attached, it's you actually just file it with the court. So it's either getting filed with the court or not applicable. If there's no, if it's just a custody dispute, financial affidavits might not be relevant. And then you're going to list all your pending motions, whether they're your motions or the other side's motions, and you just put the pleading number and then, whether it's plaintiff or defendant's motion, and then a description of what the motion is. So, a couple examples are motion for contempt or motion for modification. Then below that, you'll list child support guidelines, and they're either attached or filed with the court or not applicable if child support is not an issue. Then you're just going to want to put your list of witnesses. Usually it's the plaintiff, defendant, and then any fact witnesses that you have or expert witnesses. You're going to want to list them. And then I always put that I reserve the right to call any rebuttal witnesses. Then you're just going to list any exhibits that you reasonably expect to introduce at trial. And again, you're just going to list what all those exhibits are, as you can see here. So, and then finally below that, you just put your proposed orders, and then you write out, the full list of whatever you're proposing. Obviously, you want to deal with any issues that are in the motions that are being heard at the trial. And then you just have your regular old certification page, and you file these this trial management or hearing management compliance with the court. So those are the basics about the documents that have to be filed with the court and exchanged with the other side in advance of a hearing. If you have any other questions, feel free to give us a call at our office, and you will be able to access this document, the Word document that you saw us working on. You will be able to access that on our website. So again, call our office if you have any questions. Take care.